Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're reviewing the Hyundai Tucson. This one happens to have the XRT package. Before we get into this video, I want to mention that if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Powering this is a naturally aspirated 2.5 liter 4-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 24 around town and then 29 on the highway, with power outputs being 187 horsepower and then 178 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we go over the front end of the Tucson, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, first off, I love this particular paint color. It kind of has like almost a greenish hue to it. It's very interesting. But anyways, I love the lines here on the hood as well. And then coming down below, you guys can see here with the daytime running lights and then the headlights off to the side. And notice how that kind of connects into the grille. Got the Hyundai logo there. And then you can see this trim here at the bottom, which would be easy to replace if you damaged it off-road. And putting it all together, I think the new Tucson has a really cool looking front end. Come around the side here, tire wheel setup is 235, 55, 19 in the front and over in the rear. And you can see how the wheel itself has been all blacked out to give it more aggressive kind of like off-roader appearance. And then I love the look of the fender flares here, especially kind of there on the side. Almost looks like there'd be venting. And then you guys can see the side step here, and then look at the cladding. And when you put it all together with the body lines on the Tucson, it has a really cool look. So here's our key fob. We have our unlock function or lock function. We've got the opening here for the hatch and then the remote start function and then the Hyundai logo there in the back. Now, actually popping into the cargo area, you guys can see it's actually quite spacious. So the Tucson competes against cars like the RAV4, and it's pretty similar when it comes to the space. Actually might be bigger than the RAV4. Anyways, we've got a little 12 volt here in the back and spare tire underneath as well. When you're all done, just press that button right there and that will lower the hatch right back down. Now here are the taillights on the Tucson. I think they actually look really cool. It's got this light bar effect there, and then you guys can see Tucson and then your H-Track badge, and then we've got parking sensors at the bottom. Overall, I think that Hyundai did a really good job with the style refresh here for the Tucson. It looks a lot better than the previous version. Now popping inside, you've got this black trim that goes across. You guys can see the cloth trim down below and the padding here with the stitching, window control, and then of course piano black trim as well. Now this one's got cloth seats. You guys can see the little insert there. I think that's pretty cool. Now legroom back here is really good. We've got a storage pocket. We've got some vents here in the back, USBs, headroom, also good back here. And we happen to have a cup holder armrest. So here's the front door panel. You can see the black trim that goes across and then the cloth trim down below and then the padding. We've got all of our window controls here. We've got our mirror adjustments as well. And then the mirrors do have blind spot monitoring. And then here's the front seat. You guys can see the same design there in the center, and then it's all cloth. It does have power adjustments. And we've got this for like the hatch and then the stability control, and then yeah, more nice padding on the dash. Nice soft touch material all around with the steering wheel, and we've got cool 2-spoke design. We've got our steering assist, adaptive cruise control. We've got controls there for the center stack, turn signal light stalk, and then windshield wiper stalk. So here is the center gauge cluster. You can see fully digital. I can scroll through some and you see different bits of info on the car itself. And let's actually see what our real world fuel economy has been. There you go. Oh, that's actually not too bad. But let's leave it on the all-wheel drive split. That'll be interesting to see. We do have some different drive modes we can go into. We got a snow, smart, sport, and then normal. And sport obviously changes how the gauge cluster looks. In reverse, we do have a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel, and resolution's pretty good. As for the infotainment system itself, I like that we have actual controls for the volume and to change the radio station. Overall response time with the screen is actually pretty solid, as you can see. It's easy to use overall. It's got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as well. We've got dual zone climate controls here with the Tucson, and then we got a little charging port area with our wireless phone charging pad. It's kind of hard to see because of the lighting. Here's our shifter for that 8-speed automatic transmission. Got some cup holders right next to it. Got our drive mode select in this area with our center locker, hill descent control, auto hold, parking brake, and then you guys can see we've got our auto stop start, and then that's just for the camera. And then back here we actually have our controls for the heated seats, and then center console is pretty normal. Got some nice padding and stitching on it. And then you can see that continues on the dash, and then the cloth trim, it kind of goes in a circle around, which is pretty cool. And same with the vent. It's pretty cool as well. Normal glove box here, and then we've got a regular mirror, no center for anything like that. Now something like this is going to sticker in the mid $30,000 range, and with that being said, let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility of the hood, both the mirrors. Just do a blind spot monitoring and throughout the rest of the rear. And, well, let us set off. Okay, well, we are setting off in the Tucson, and I've been living with this vehicle for about a week. This is one of my tester vehicles, and so I've got some interesting takes on the Tucson. First off, if you put the center locker on, it still sends more power to the front than the rear. It's front wheel drive based, and you think that with a center locker it's going to be even, and it's still more, you know, to the front, which I find interesting that it's not more of like a, you know, even 50-50 split. But again, with that being said, it does help with sending more to the rear, so it makes it, again, feel a little bit more even. Right now I'm in the sport mode here. It's pretty good. We'll talk about the acceleration, transmission stuff a little bit later, but it's pretty good for around town uses. But anyways, yeah, 100% to the front wheels, which I mean is going to be good for fuel economy, I suppose. But other stuff, seats are pretty comfortable. Ride comfort's good. All this, like, you know, all the UI in this is really easy to use. Hyundai's done a good job with that, and this does feel pretty premium, especially when you compare it to like the RAV4, for example, and even the new Honda CR-V. I mean, I feel like this feels a little bit more premium in some ways. The only one that I would say that probably feels more premium than this is the Mazda CX-5. But let me know if you guys want me to do a comparison while I still have this. I did a comparison RAV4 versus the CX-5. But anyways, let's get into my hot takes on the Tucson. First off, the transmission sometimes at low speeds can just be really weird sometimes, where it's like upshift down, it doesn't really know what it's doing, and I don't know why. I don't know if it, like, this is a press car, so like sometimes there can just be issues with them because they're not as, press cars are typically not as nice as production cars, believe it or not. So could be that, but that's not my biggest issue. My biggest issue is just, I hate this segment of SUV, honestly. Like, I love it in the sense of the fuel economy and the size, but I hate the base versions of this. Let me explain. So I think that the Tucson hybrid, fantastic. RAV4 hybrid, fantastic. But a regular RAV4, regular Tucson, right, with this, you know, just the normal 4-cylinder engine, or, you know, the Mazda with the regular 4-cylinder engine that's not turboed, I just think they're slow. And it's like, and it's slow enough because of like how big these vehicles are that it's annoying. Like, again, look at this. Like, I'm having to wring it out to like barely get up to speed. So yeah, I just think that the hybrids in this segment are the way to go. That's just my personal opinion, and this is going to be like super controversial, but I will not be sad when this segment of vehicle is like fully electrified. Like, I would not be sad if the only options you have are hybrid, plug-in hybrid, and EV, and there's no, you know, 4-cylinder naturally aspirated option, because again, it's just this, the base powertrains in this segment, they're just slow, and the fuel economy is okay, but it's not that great for like the size of vehicle and the complete lack of power that you have. It's crazy. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about the Tucson. I think the Tucson as a vehicle is great. I'm just not a fan of the base powertrain. I prefer the upgraded powertrains you can get with the Tucson. Let me know what you guys think about that though.